You're rushing, honey. You're gonna choke. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Toy Lips. Today we have a very special 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends. That's this year. Captain America throwback figure, throwback packaging to the OG clamshell. Was trash anyway. Whoa, a lot going on all of a sudden. Anyway, prominently displayed here, all these awesome accessories, a little bit of a backdrop. You can see the reverse blister thing that they've been doing with the retro carded stuff, meant to look like the old things. A more generic read-up of what they're doing here in general. For 20 years, the Marvel Legends series has brought the iconic characters and storylines of the Marvel Universe to fans worldwide. To celebrate the 2002 Toy Biz debut release, Marvel Legends proudly presents the 20th Anniversary Series 1, featuring Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Toad. Anyway, some more of that down there. Very nice. In that anniversary packaging, you get all of this. Let's take a closer look at that figure. Now we're going to dial in on the sculpt a little bit while I earbeat you about the character. This is Steve Rogers, Captain America. Yeah, duh, right? He was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, and actually predates Marvel Comics, first appearing in 1941 in response to the Second World War. As the story goes, Steve Rogers was a small man with a great big heart. Deemed unfit for military service, he found redemption in an experimental serum that would grant him greatly improved physical prowess. Fighting on the front lines, he is the Sentinel of Liberty, the super soldier, Captain America. Captain of the Americas, old Steve Rogers. So this is basically the same Captain America figure they've been iterating on for like the last couple of times. And, it's about the minor upgrades, and it's great. And all the accessories that this one comes with. This one is so far pretty definitive, if not for like the visible pins. This is a really nice head sculpt. The A is sculpted, raised on there, as well as the wings. Obviously, ears poking out, a little bit of paint slop there. But nice stern look to him. The eyes are pretty sharp-ish. Kind of buried up in there, you know what I mean? This is a separate overlay here, a softer piece. Sort of peels away. And this is raised, sculpted, painted on there, nice and shiny. This sculpt also transfers down to the bicep. And in fact, on this male, all of these seem to be individually dabbed with an extra layer of paint. How wonderful. You can see that extra red here, and on the gloves, down on the pirate hooker boots, dated, check the other one. Oh, here it is, 2016. So, do you know what I mean? But I still have that Onslaught one on the shelf. I love it. They've just this is the 80 years upper body. They've been running with this, and it's got these vibrant comic colors. I love the look of this thing. I think the captain's looking sick. Alright, time for a super patriotic run-through of the accessories. Get ready, we're going to be here for like 20 minutes. Look at all this. This is fantastic, and I think this more than anything, it justifies the price point. I know it's all about the anniversary edition and so on, and it's just a repainted figure. But look at all of this cool stuff. We'll start just right on the figure even. This harness, this is brilliant. Those fruity little flaky things on the other one, that's nonsense. This is a rig that goes all the way around our good friend here. Looks really nice and allows you to port the shield right into the sucker. One of these funny hinges, but the shield itself couldn't be Captain America without that shield. This is a fairly, simplistic one. There's no like sculpting really or anything like that. It's painted pretty well though. Nice clean lines. Just this plastic all marbled to hell on the back though. Yee. But you notice it does have all these little ports for porting. Full disclosure, I tore this off accidentally trying to flip the thing around so it could go the other way to sit there. If you understand, you understand. OCD weirdos, I'll just glue it back on. That's not a big deal. What is a big deal is all these nutty effects. Look at this one here, type of electricity thing deal. And it has 3 pegs on it. And you simply line up those pegs. And then it's like this now. Like he's perhaps throwing down with Thor. That's fantastic, though. The representations here. This is this other sweet one. It's this nice like slash effect cast in a translucent yellow with a little white paint right across the top. Same deal. Peg these little shapes in there. And you could simulate that he's perhaps throwing it and it's ricocheting off of something, or that somebody like Wolverine is taking a swipe at the guy, you know what I mean? Gah! Some such thing. How come he only seems to be throwing down with his boys? Anyway, moving right along here, you get these 3 little ricochet effects to mimic gunfire, say. Now the thing is here, all these shapes, these ports are actually different shapes, and the pegs on these correspond to each one, so they all sit just so. Square, half circle, part of the state of Texas. Look how awesome that is, really. This is super cool. Breathes new life into what would just be just the obligatory, oh, throw in a shield with him. You know what I mean? This one is super unique. I absolutely love it. And these are just like that other piece, cast in a translucent yellow with a little bit of white paint on the top. So cool. So cool. Of course, a whole mess of hands here. We've got the spirit fingers, the accusatory pointer, loving that one. A fist for each hand, as well as the flat palm here for snapping a crisp one. Throwing this on here, we have a nice cowl piece for the first time ever. And it will sit in one spot, but it doesn't really stay very well. Not quite like the Wolverine ones. But that allows you to convincingly display him with a cowl doffed. With a doffed cowl. Get right in there. Look how nice that sculpt is, though. Truly. I mean, that is Steve Rogers. Unmistakably. The lantern jaw of Captain Steve Rogers. From Brooklyn. I'm walking here. Why tear his head off? Anyway. And then finally, you get this really cool throwback stand. It is just this really flimsy piece of plastic. It says more of Legends embossed upon it. Couple peg holes for the feet and a little slot here for this insert. It's just a piece of paper meant to mimic the old plastic backdrop that they could include 20 years ago for like half the price that we pay today. It's got this nice tank here. There's some shells on the top there. This blown out wall that's left of a structure, say some bombers or whatever flying in the background. And then reversible, the origin of Captain America. And then of course just ports right in there. You can have that any which way. Mine was kind of loose in there, and I got a dinged corner and some whatever, but it's just a piece of paper. I might have a separate display for these 20th anniversary ones. I'll rock in their whatevers. But you can peg his feet on there, and it stays pretty well. And, 5 minutes later, that's all the awesome stuff this figure comes with. Checking out the articulation, there's nothing new here, but it does work well. You get this head on a ball joint with a hinge, so you can look back this far, down this far, and you even get pretty good tilt. Ball jointed shoulders here. You've got some extra layers in the way with this, of course, being an overlay, so I'd say mind the paint on your scales, you know what I mean? But you can work these both up straight out like this, and you have a bicep cut here, goes all the way around. Double jointed elbows. They get decent range for being such savage pythons, but he's got these big gloves on. So that hurts you a little in that way. Hands are all hinged, thusly back this far, forward this far. What at first glance might appear to be a diaphragm cut is, of course, just a basic ab crunch going down this far, back this far, and he does have a waist twist concealed nicely by the belt. Let's see, the legs, they really don't come out that far on these ball jointed thighs, but they do come forward this far. Coming backwards, they're restricted a little bit by America's ass, but he does have those upper thigh cuts to help pivot around that. With a double jointed knee, boot cuff in the way, but it does feature a cut, so it'll rotate all the way around right there. And you get ankles that come back this far, and they rock side to side. Checking the height here, our crispy new captain stands about 6 5/8 of an inch. In light of it being the 20th anniversary of the Marvel Legends line, and the Good Captain being such a storied character, we're going to kind of go off with these comparisons here. You know how I do. Starting off with my favorite, my Captain on the shelf here, we have the Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave Captain America, holding Mjolnir on the left there, looking nice and clean, sharp, lantern-jawed, and it looks like the new one shares the complete lower half. And I think the upper half then would just be from the 80th anniversary cap. On the right, we have the Marvel Now Captain America. A little bit of a more armored look coming from the mid-2010s era. Next up, we have the MCU Endgame Cap, as well as the What If Captain Carter. Moving on. Now we have Thor and Iron Man completing the trifecta. These are the Avengers Big Three right here. That is, of course, the 80 Years Thor and the AI Iron Man. Wanda Maximoff and Sharon Carter. Wolverine and the Black Widow. The Captain's longtime co-conspirators, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Some OG Timely Comics crew, we have Namor the Submariner and the Human Torch. For some Captain America Rogues Gallery love, we have Crossbones and Armadillo. Well, the A on his head does not stand for France. Somebody has to. Batroc the Leaper. As well as some Nazi scumbag. How about a nice cup of shut the... Okay, I'm sure everybody's had enough. Wrapping it up with the standard 6-inch size comparison, we have the Marvel Legends Tall, Dark, and Handsome Spider-Man, and the Marvel Legends Morning Coffee, mostly Bucky Cap Deadpool. So, at the end of the day, is he the cream of the captains, or is he just Captain Cook? I think they're really nailing the classic comic book aesthetic. The head sculpt and the color of blue are spot on. I love all the extra paint detail, and the line work, at least on mine, is pretty clean. The articulation, too. It's like the last one, but they've pretty much been refining it to this point. And this dude's got most everything except butterfly shoulders and a diaphragm cut. Hopefully they're saving one of those for the pinless re-release. Isn't this like a deluxe release? No, this is an anniversary, stupid. But they really jammed this clam full of accessories. The unmasked head is great, and little stuff like the cowl really sells it. Plus, the shield and those effects, it's a whole new thing. While it's hard to call it definitive with the only shield having holes in it, this set is mad nice. Bet I recommend. I think the quality of the figure and everything in here justifies the higher price, anniversary notwithstanding. But if you're just here for that, you could hang this sucker on the wall and be super stoked. As always, friends, thanks for taking the time. Don't forget to like this video, and maybe try another.